Glad we're here. Let's begin. We might start by noticing how breath expresses itself in and through our body. Our body is something like an instrument or a resonator, or an amplifier or a dampener. So we can note what areas are transparent and accessible, which areas of our body offer great expressive leeway. And relaxing, softening the belly as best as we can to ensure that we do and we can feel the breath within the abdomen. And we'll work with some rounds of Uddiyana today. So we'll continue to do some things throughout the week, just to keep touch with the gut, the beautiful, sometimes very emotional or mysterious gut, right? So inhaling with the belly softening so that we can feel the tone, the space, the shape of the abdomen. And then straight away, we'll place our hands in front of our legs. Exhale. This can be done out the mouth all at once. Remain empty. And just start to express those belly muscles, just gathering them, condensing them. And then you can feel the gather and the discovery of the pelvic floor. Kind of gathering all of that in and toward the core. Releasing when that feels complete. So a really great way to start to kind of resuscitate or just participate in movements through the body. It's kind of like this action right here, which is really just gathering and releasing. And so that's really just kind of all that I'm really doing in the abdomen is just, can I feel there? And then just gathering, condensing, and releasing. Let's do another round. I'm going to do this round legs apart. Set up your legs any way you like. I'm just going to keep adjusting the legs. All right. So the abdomen can soften, shall soften as we inhale. And then pause. Bring the hands forward. And we'll exhale. This can be moderately swiftly. But it's when we feel empty that we just start to condense and gather in and around not only the belly, but below the navel. Okay. And I think for my third round, I'm going to select Baddha Konasana. But again, feel free to put your legs in position of your choosing. We'll do a third, we'll do a final round. And maybe it's worth just saying, because sometimes I can offer a collectivized experiential view of these tools and these techniques, is occasionally an individual will describe to me almost like they're kind of drawing splinters out of their body. So occasionally these techniques can really feel like they're getting into some areas that haven't moved in a while. So, and like taking splinters out, taking the staticness, the non-movingness out of the body can feel a little bit growly at first, but the movingness, I think, is well worth more than the non-movingness. Third round, final round. Here we go. Inhaling, softening belly. Keep letting the breath descend. Move the hands forward, exhale swiftly. Remain empty, gathering and condensing, just like, almost like wringing a sponge. And release. We'll start a seated spinal twist with our right leg crossed over our left. So this knee in the air is my right knee, and this leg on the ground is my left leg. So to make this twist initially mild, we can just hook the elbow and then hold and grow vertical. I say that because we did a lot of twists yesterday. So going a little deeper into the twist, of course, just hook the elbow over the thigh. Inhale, right hand press down. Abdomen softens. Heart lifts away from abdomen. And then exhaling, moving into the twist to the degree that is helpful to you. To continue breathing into the abdomen. Feel that left hip crease soften. And again, just some observations, generalized, so this may not be true for everyone, it may not be true for you, but often when there's this kind of intent of inhabiting or breathing into and feeling the abdomen, often I'll notice the beginnings of breath occur near the abdomen, but the vast majority of breath almost vacates the abdomen and moves into the chest and higher up. So you might consider, how do I remain listening deeply to the abdomen as I'm inhaling? And how do I stay and remain in that abdomen, living in the belly through the exhale? So there's a quality of stay in, stay with the abdomen. Let's release, inhaling to unwind. And we'll switch sides. So the right leg on the ground, the left leg crosses over. So we'll be twisting to our left. None of these breaths have to be forceful. None of these breaths have to distend or even push on the abdomen. It's about sensing the abdomen as well as the ribs. Sensing the pelvis, the abdomen, as well as the chest and the upper back. How do I live in the whole house? And release. Inhaling, let's unwind. And we'll lie down. We'll do 2 kinds of abdominals today. Do a little elbow to knee. It seems to be the kindest on the backs initially. So we inhale the head and the shoulder blades up. Again, instead of poofing the belly up, just feel the breath descend and softly fill into the abdomen, the pelvis. Curling tailbone, exhaling, reach out through the right leg. Gathering low belly. Drawing it downward, inward. Inhale, bend right knee. Exhaling, reach out through left. Belly gathering, gathering, gathering. Keep gathering. Gather from the sides, gather from pubic, gather from navel. Inhale, bend left knee. Let's do 4 more on each side. Let's do that at our own pace, because y'all are very familiar with this. So sensing the space of the abdomen. The location. As I was being introduced to the notion of emotional tones within the body, before I could feel those with specificity, I would feel just more a generalized solidity or movingness. So in fact, I felt quite a bit of solidity before it started to move, where I could discover the specific emotionality. Things had to move for me to feel more substrate. So just using these little techniques like expressing a sponge, we're kind of wringing the low belly, gathering. And also listening as if, what else? What else here? So if you have a block or a roll, we'll get started with gate opener. So gate opener, that two-part abdominal. First part is legs squeezing, oriented towards sky, and the second part is legs apart. So you want plenty of room to your left and your right. I'll start with prop very close to the pelvis, close to the hips. Inhaling with soft eyes, soft abdomen. Apply, squeeze, feel the leg muscles grow active, curl tailbone. Exhale, lift the head and the shoulder blades up, and feel the low belly. Express the low belly, express like ring, gather, condense, ring. Get all the tissues of the groin and the low belly moving, squeezing, condensing. Take a hand, hold the roll, inhale, legs apart. You feel how everything we're ringing and expressing now gets expanded. Exhale, shifting the tailbone toward the sternum. Outreach through the inner legs, spreading the soles of the feet. Draw the low belly down, gathering, ringing. Inhale, bring the legs together, set the head down. And now gather the legs toward the props. You're squeezing, condensing the inner leg muscles, curl tailbone. Exhale, the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Using the exhalation, the low belly muscles, expressing, condensing, ringing. And these do have a kind of evacuative quality to them. Place hand on the roll, inhale, legs apart. Exhale, reaching out through the legs. Feel how the inner leg muscles respond after all of that condensing and activating against the prop. You might start to feel a little energy moving through the inner legs, the low belly. Inhale, bring the legs together, set the head down. And then again, condense, gather the legs onto the props so the muscles kind of firm or activate. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up. Low belly muscles for the exhale. Low belly muscles. Keep working them, find them, gather them, express them, ring them. Hand to roll, hand over prop, inhale, legs apart. Exhale, tailbone shift, legs outreach, moving from that very condensed state to a much more expanded state. And draw the low belly down. Inhale, bring legs together, set the head down. Holding that, gather the legs onto the prop. Keep gathering until the muscles start to change tone, which is changing neuromuscular state. Keep squeezing till they start to get firm or active. Curl tailbone, exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up, lengthening through the inner legs. Gather through the low belly, low belly, low belly as you pull in and down. Hand to roll, inhale, legs apart. Expanding the leg area that had been condensed. Exhale, shifting the tailbone, reaching out through the legs. Pull low belly down. All right, inhale, let's bring the legs together. Exhaling, we'll set the feet down, the head down. I'm going to set up unlocking the hip from bridge. So it's often helpful to have a block to support this. It's not essential. And for years, we would do these bridge poses without any supplementation. They're strong moves from my emotional recollecting. So here we are, feet. Can skim them with the fingertips. And exhaling, we'll shift the tailbone toward the sky. The buttock lifts. We enter bridge. If there's any uncertainties in the knee or the back, just insert the block. It's really amazing. We can have all of this support. So one of the hopes is that we just completed some techniques to heighten feeling awareness in the pelvis, in and through the abdomen. So does any of that heightened feeling awareness allow us to breathe and move from that place? Left foot remaining stationary. Inhaling, we'll pick the right ankle up, crossing it over the left thigh. And we'll switch sides, setting the right foot down. Inhaling, we'll pick that left foot up, crossing ankle over thigh. And listening to the quality of breath as you are sensing in your pelvis, in your hip. Does breath reach the pelvis? Does breath reach the hip sockets, the pelvic floor, the genitals? It's not uncommon to inadvertently brace with the abdominals, effectively stifling the breathing pelvis. And we'll replace that left foot to the ground. And exhaling, we'll lower down out of bridge. And while lying, do a little bit of an extended variation move. So remain lying, straighten your left leg, hug the right knee into your chest or near your chest, and reach your left arm over your head. So your left arm is stretching away from your left leg away from your left arm. And deeply breathing into the back side of the body. And increasing that reaching, stretching, or extending behavior through the fingertips, through the left heel. And we'll switch sides. So straighten the right leg along the ground. Draw the left knee in toward the chest. And we're reaching the right arm overhead. So our entire right side is extended or straightened or stretched out. And just finding out if you can feel breath in the low back and the right side. Because in a moment we will get into like an extended warrior, and this is just a nice way to prime it. And release. Let's turn over and prep our dolphin. We'll move on to our elbows and knees. And on exhale, let's come up. I'll let you decide if you want to elevate one leg at a time, 4 breaths each. If you don't want to today, that's perfect. We'll be here for 8 breaths. So join us in whatever capacity you're willing to play. And when you're complete with that, as it appears you are becoming, we can just set the knees down. And we'll slide our hands under shoulders, exhaling downward dog. All right, here's those extended warriors as promised. Inhale, left foot forward. So we take a warrior two stance. So first, we'll take a variation. Pardon my shifts here. Left forearm on thigh, right arm reaches overhead. In a moment, we'll have the chance to reach down. I've just put a block there just in case. So now I'm extending, reaching the right hand fingertips away from the right heel away from the fingertips. And now I'm just out loud processing or out loud sharing. When I'm on the ground, reaching one leg away from one arm, I can feel how there's a rocking quality, a balancing, a reflexive. Like I could feel my sacrum, my butt, my back rocking back and forth depending on how I'm breathing, how open I am through my legs. So I'm actually trying to attune to those same rolling, rocking, reflexive components here. Because when we stand on a leg, when we are kind of, positioned asymmetrically, we can often feel that the body has this, it's rocking left and right, there's a vestibular, kind of a balancing, where am I in space quality. All right, here's that extended warrior bringing the left hand down. So you can bring the left hand down to block or all the way to the ground. And inhale, bring the right hand down, exhaling chaturanga. We'll step left foot back. And we lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. That's for a little additional heat and love. Let's make this turbo dog. There's really no reason to not. Bend elbows. But we're not just bending the elbows like a hinge joint. There's a rotational quality. The hands are pressing, gathering the ground. The elbows remain under the shoulders. Is different than them winging out beyond the width of the shoulders. And inhale, right foot forward, extended warrior variation. Prop right forearm on right thigh. Draw left arm over your head. And again, just to say it another way, there is this kind of rocking aspect of the nervous system, the pelvis, the righting, the reflexes, and how we catch ourselves, right ourselves. And we could feel for that in the pose. The pose would probably take on a quality of a little rock and roll swaying in the breeze. It just has a different quality than if I drove through the legs so powerfully that no influence could be registered. And now here's the extended warrior, bringing the right hand down to block or down to ground. And this may deepen some of that stretch or bias on that left side. And inhale, bring a hand down, hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. Stepping right foot back. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. All right, we'll take a little rest moment. We're going to transition to wall and do some handstand. So my hope is all of that lengthening stuff starts to aggregate to help us float up in a handstand. Now, if you're not working handstand, we know the alternative, one of the alternatives is downward dog at the wall. So if you have a wall section, grab it. Now, if you don't have access to a wall, that's okay. We can do a little extended moment of downward dog. There's a lot of value in downward dog. So let's plan on 6 to 8 breaths. Would that be, that'd be good. So at your pace, we're going upside down. If you don't have wall space to kick up, just choose a downward dog. You'll extend, reach through those arms as you're reaching through the legs to kick. Cool, and just continue on, Kara. I'm sure you're finding that best surface. Cool. Well, that was interesting for me. I could feel the center of gravity was different through my shoulder girdle. So thanks. Let's press back into downward dog. Ostrich, inhale, left foot forward. We'll collect our hands behind back. Exhaling, fold to the inside of left thigh. Inhaling, bring the hands down to the sacrum, release, and we're setting up right knee down for pigeon. We're gonna do a little variation here. So once we walk the left foot over, we lie the shin down. We'll take a side bend variation. So how to do that? First, ensure your right foot is walked back so that all the slack is kind of drawn out of the pelvic abdominal area. And then reach your right hand away from your right foot. So just creating an overhead reach through the right hand. So again, I'm actively reaching back through the right leg, actively sliding that right hand forward, and feeling the quality of breath that occurs through that right outstretched side. And inhale, bring the hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Ostrich. Inhale, step right foot forward. Basically a warrior stance. Some of us will benefit if it's a little more like warrior one. Some of us will benefit a little more like warrior two. I'm not too concerned. I choose more of a one orientation, and then we'll hinge the trunk inside the right thigh. There you go. Letting breath be carried into the chest area, the collar, the breast and armpit area. Inhale, bring the hands down for pigeon, where we're stretching out the left side. So we wriggle that right foot down, walk that left foot back, and reach that left arm forward. Let your breath enter that entire left side. So there can be a lot going on in volitionally reaching, volitionally kind of intoning expansion through the body, and breathing fully, thoroughly, lushly. So we can start to feel into the mind of implied expansion. We can start to feel into the mind of the hand and the foot, the periphery. We can start to feel into the mind of being this outreaching. And inhale, walk it back, the hands back. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, when we inhale, step any foot forward. We'll just arrive in a horse stance, and a symmetric horse stance. Doesn't matter which way we face. We're going to do a final round of Uddiyana from horse stance. So as I permit the butt to sink down a bit, I'm going to put my spine and my guts on a little bit of hang or traction. So here goes, inhaling into the abdomen, pelvis, solar plexus, and chest, and then we'll swiftly exhale everything out. Remain empty. Draw the belly in, back, and up. Take your time, we'll do one final round. When you're ready, let's do it. So we exhale everything out. And then feel the condensing, the gathering in of the low belly. Maybe it feels different than the first time we did this morning. And of course, breathe when you need to. And finally, we'll turn the feet to face forward, straightening the legs for one final fold. It's kind of like ostrich, so we interlace hands behind the back, inhale, lifting through the chest, and exhale to fold. It's allowing the head to receive those fluid impressions with gravity. Breathing into the abdomen and the heart. And inhaling, we'll bring the hands down to the sacrum, release, bring them to the ground. And here we can help heel toe walk our feet back under us, and we'll have a seat as we prepare for Shavasana. And so as you make your way to the ground for rest, if there's any props you need, I encourage it, legs up wall or blanket under the backs of your knees. Those are all great options. We'll remain conscious, cognizant, breath aware, even while we relinquish the technique of breathing. We breathe in a very specific way in yoga. But we can still be breath aware without the technique. And I hope we did enough things for us today that we could feel and get into and just get a new angle, a new perspective, a new sense of the pelvis, the abdomen, the solar plexus, the heart. And there's a very specific intelligence of the abdomen that's got a different flavor than the intelligence of the heart, than the intelligence in the head space. And so I just want to leave these moments in our Shavasana as a way to just start that study. What is the flavor of intelligence that seems to show through the abdomen? What does that intelligence qualitatively present as? And as always, if you're not sure, just present the question into your mind space, your body space. Just, it's a little bit like dropping a petal leaf into a stream. We just place the inquiry into our breathing practice pond, our practice moments. And when you're ready, bend knees, turn to a side, and press to seated. All right, fellow journeyers, namaste. Have a beautiful week.